Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Minute, where we're throwing strikes and getting likes, hitting dingers and getting listeners. Back again with another episode. It has been a good week since I have talked on Brewers content. It's been a good week since I've done anything, so let's get into it. But first, let's talk about our sponsors. Let's talk about where you can find the podcast. Of course, Anchor, Apple, Spotify, you name it, Google, anywhere you can get podcasts, YouTube. The new shows are coming, guys. It's been another restart week, uh, especially with the air quality. Unfortunately, it just kind of I'm an asthmatic, so I suffer a little bit from it. So it's been a while. It's been a little bit. I've been trying to get through some things, and just it's sometimes you got a week, and that happens. We go through it, the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows. So, like I said, it's been roughly a week. I think my last published was 22nd. Today's the 30th. So, roughly 8 days since I published a video. I know that's not a good look for a guy that says he does a podcast every day, but let me tell you, I want to come at you at 100%. Um, and I think that's part of it. So that being said, um, let's get into some content. Let's talk about the last couple days and what's going on here. New York Mets, who are a fourth place team in the AL East, we took 3 of 4. Brewers proven that they can do some things. We had a couple good days from Mr. Perkins, so that's good. We brought back Bryce Turing and sent down Luis Urias. That was huge. So one of the things here I think that's kind of key in the bringing down and the sending back move that we made here is Luis Urias was struggling and just was having one of those times. So he needs to go work it out. Bryce Turing went down, figured it out, and came out swinging. So I think that's crucial, and that'll be part of today's news and notes. Otherwise, it's been a pretty good last week for the Brew Crew um, since I last spoke to you. We have definitely made some headway. Um, the Reds are still being the Reds, and they're still playing good. Um, but I think that's okay. We've got some series coming up against our NL Central foes. So this is kind of the time we can widen the gap. We're probably a little more healthy than we've been in a while. We have the potential for Frelick to come back. So if we take a look at the NL Central today, atop the standings, the Cincinnati Reds and the Milwaukee Brewers are tied at 43 and 38 apiece. They are on a win streak of 2. We are on a win streak of 2. They're 7-3 in the last 10. We're 6-4. So Pittsburgh's 4.5 out, and Chicago's 5 out, and St. Louis is all the way back at 9.5. So really, I mean, that's good. That's okay. Well, I'll take it for the halfway point. We are officially at the halfway point of the season. So I think that means a lot for the crew so far. We fought through some battles. We're still above 500. We're still have a winning record. Lots of good things going the crew's way. A guy in Elvis Paguro. Elvis has entered the building. Elvis is doing phenomenal. I'd say right now the strength of this team is the bullpen and how they continue to find ways to get it done. Elvis Perguo and Hobie Milner are 2 guys that I've kind of said are unsung and underrated heroes for this ball club. And when you take a look at the impact that these bullpen guys are having, our soon to be all-star. They've announced the all-stars. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Our soon to be all-star closer, Devin Williams, is rocking and rolling. Let's get into the game notes here, and we'll talk about the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of tonight's Milwaukee Brewers game. So I think we start off by saying that Christian Yelich has kind of come around, and I talked about Christian Yelich's All-Star case actually in the last video I did. So if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It's also on audio if you want to listen to me instead of watch it. But he had an 0 for tonight. Weaker went 1 for 2. His later pinch hit by William Contreras, who got a hit. The big keys here were the Caratini home run. Caratini went 2 for 3. Caratini has these days, and this is where he provides his value because Caratini does not play every day, as we know, but he has these days where he'll go off and where he'll get first pitch home runs. And that is just, there's so much value in that as backup catcher and a veteran on the squad. Guy that's been around Cubs, Padres, he's been around. He's and his experience shows, and that's important. But the key to this day in this game is, I think, the energy that we saw out there from Turang. Turang's offensive numbers aren't that good so far in the majors, but his defense in the majors and the way that he plays the game out there, it's bar none. So Hauser went 6, 7 hits given up, only 2 runs. So quality outing. I know everybody loves that stat, but yeah, quality outing, 2 runs given up. And he did give up 2 solo shots. So Nimmo got us again. Nimmo kind of got a bit at us a little bit. Milner only went a third of an inning, but Perguero mopped it up. And Piamps scoreless. And, of course, Devin Williams got a little sloppy in the ninth. But that's the thing about a closer. And this is one thing I would say the sloppiness would be the downright ugly today because it just got ugly. But sometimes, and hear me out here, sometimes when a closer gets sloppy, that's when it gets exciting because you want a little drama in a game. There was drama in the previous inning for us. So the drama there is fun. And I think that makes a huge difference when we're talking about these games being fun and exciting. We got to have a little drama to it. 1-run game is sometimes fun to have. You don't want them all to be one-run games, but you want some of them to. That's important. That's a huge factor in this game of baseball. So yeah, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. Of course, 9 hits today. Another good thing. It's good to see Caratini come in. You want to have role players. Turing had a solid line drive that just ended up in Lindor's glove for his first at bat, and then he got a hit. Brian Anderson almost hit a grand slam today. That was a cool moment. Still knocked in the winning run either way. But yeah, good game overall. Solid outing by our pitching. Anytime you give up 2 runs and win by 1, it's solid. So let's talk more about what's going on in the world of baseball, and let's talk about these All-Stars. There's a former Brewer on this All-Star game. There's guys that are just Tani hit his 14th home run of June. That made history. But let's talk about the All-Stars real quick. And who is selected to that All-Star ballot. Of course, I didn't pull this up beforehand, so of course it's not popping up right away when I do it. Reds are still red hot, which is kind of just funny at the same time. Here we go. So this is the starting lineup for the 2023 All-Star. From first-timers to 10th-timers, All-Star games starting field set. So in the NL for catcher, we're starting out with, well, first and foremost, Shohei Ohtani and Ronald Acuna Jr. were unanimous. They won the voting. Basically, they led everybody in voting. So very cool on that part. Shohei goes without saying, best player in the game. You don't even need to argue that. There is no argument against it. Should have been AL MVP last year. Will be AL MVP again. So catchers, we've got Sean Murphy, who is actually part of the trade that we acquired William Contreras in. Jonah Heim for Texas. Then we go to first baseman. We got Freddie Freeman and Yandy Diaz of Tampa Bay. You're going to see some Tampa Bay guys, obviously, with how good Tampa Bay has been. So Luis Arraez for Miami. Marcus Semien for Texas. Nolan Arenado, 5th selection. Oh, I didn't say those. Luis Arraez is first. Semien second. Freeman's been there 4 times. Yandy Diaz first. Sean Murphy first. Jonah Heim first. Okay, back to Josh Young, first selection from Texas. Texas has got a bunch of these guys so far. So Texas is going to have all the first timers. Orlando Arcia, first election shortstop for the National League. So props to former Brewer Orlando Arcia, the Butcher's boy. Posting a 303, 358, and 436 slash line with 6 homers and 26 RBIs over 59 games for the Braves. Runner-up is Francisco Lindor. Corey Seager, first-time election. Designated hitters are going to be J.D. Martinez from the Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani. NL outfield, we're going to have Ronald Acuna Jr., 3rd election. Mookie Betts, 4th election. Corbin Carroll, first-timer, rookie sensation. AL is Mike Trout, of course, 10th. Randy Arozarena, batting 400. Or kind of borderlining. He's borderline. He's pretty good. And Aaron Judge. Lots of cool stuff happening there. We don't know if we're going to see a... like a Yelich sneak on or something like that. There's been conversation that I don't know if that's conversation the organization's just trying to start or if there's actually any truth to the fact that Christian Yelich could be an all-star. But hey, if he is, great. No harm, no foul in my opinion there. Baseball is at that point where it's getting good, getting more competitive. We're going to see who's going to be buyers and sellers. Over the last few days that we've been in New York, there's actually been conversation that the Mets may trade Scherzer, potentially Verlander, those kind of things. So there's a lot of drama cooking right now at this moment because we're going to see all these moves and all these wheels take effect. And I'm going to get really into it over the next few weeks. The big thing for us, though, I think, aside from all stars and who gets, if Devin goes and Christian goes, or if we just have Devin go, like Devin's going to be there. I think that's the one thing I've said since the All-Star ballot has started. If you go over to brewerfanatic.com, you can actually watch my original ballot video. And I think I called a lot of these guys. I think a lot of these guys were on my ballot. But we have a stretch here where we need to make some distance between us and our NL Central foes. And it starts tomorrow. It starts in Pittsburgh. We got a weekend series against the Pirates. Then we come back home and we play the Cubs and the Reds. So that's where we need to really, really make up some games here. Take some of these series against our foes. Due to the structure of this schedule where we play everybody, we haven't even been to Pittsburgh yet. So I think that's important for us to look at going into the end of June. We want to take these series, or I should say the beginning of July, right before the All-Star break, I guess is what I'm getting at. So we got Pittsburgh Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we got 4 over the holiday with the Cubs at home, and then we got the Reds, and then we go into the All-Star break. I don't foresee a Brewers player being in the All-Star home run derby. So where we're going to see our Brewers is going to be the All-Star break, and potentially, like we might get some backup positions, those kind of things. But let's not hold our breath. Guys tend to skip out now. They just go and they're there for the show. We've seen this over the last few years with Josh Hader and Corbin Burns. They go for the attendance, and then, but I'm excited for it, guys. This is the time where baseball gets a lot more exciting. I think this year's just been a different year. It's been a weird year for the crew. We're still doing good. We're still a good team. I don't fault the team for that. How can you? We're still in a good spot. End of the day, whatever you think of this squad, we are still in a good spot. We're still fighting it out. We're in first place. And it'll continue, guys. It'll continue. So, but crucial games ahead. We're going to talk about them day by day, break them down. We are going to be back tomorrow. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Guys, watch this video. Share it with your friends. If you're listening on audio, share the audio. Thank you guys for being a part of the Miller Park Minute. And thank you for following me. And as always, let's go Brewers.